But
Hey guys! Okay, so we wanted to talk about
invalidating somebody's emotions.
this is something we've learned big through each other, and been able to practice, which is like, I just feel like we should share it because
We are people who have had our feelings invalidated a lot, and so we like to like when people are telling us a story, we want to like try and help them understand, like, oh well, like look at the other person's perspective, and like maybe they didn't try to make you feel that way, because we want to help you feel better, because
yeah, or like
we
try
know
to fix
how
it.
uncomfortable it is to feel those feelings. But we've realized that doing things like that is what invalidating someone's emotions is. And that you need to just be there and listen and support them through those feelings, because they are valid and deserve to be felt. It does not matter the intentions of the person that caused those feelings in that moment, because they brought up that reason, that feeling, for a reason.
Yeah, so if somebody comes to you and you like try to fix it, like you try to fix the situation, you try to get them to stop crying or to stop feeling what they're feeling, like maybe instead just try to listen.
Right, because if you're trying to get them to stop feeling what they're feeling, that is what is invalidating. You're basically telling them on some level that what they're feeling is wrong and it's not okay and they shouldn't be feeling that. And every feeling that comes up deserves to be felt. It doesn't matter the reason why it arose or why it came up. It came up for a reason, and it needs to be felt, because it will get trapped and stuck in your body if you don't feel it.
Yeah, so that's why in our relationship we practice. I'll just literally come into my mom's room and I'll just like start talking, and she'll just like listen. She'll just be the gateway for me to express this emotion, express what I'm feeling, and she just listens. And through that, that taught me to validate myself, that space. Because then through that, I purely just wanted to share. I wanted to have that gateway. Sometimes she'll have a response, sometimes she won't. Either way, like, I'm okay because I got what I wanted out of the situation. You know what I mean?
And then once you feel those emotions, you can go back and look at that situation and realize, okay, that person probably didn't do that on purpose. They probably didn't mean to make me feel that way. But again, it doesn't matter. That feeling arose and needs to be felt.
Yeah. And like any perspective that you're going to tell them, like they will come to that on their own when they're supposed to. But sometimes, like in that immediate motion of emotional response, like you need to respond. You need to feel that emotion before you can look at things from a logical standpoint. Because releasing that emotion is going to help you see things from a logical standpoint in a more clear mindset anyway. So
So the best thing you can do is just be there, love them, listen, and let them feel what they're feeling.
And that's all. Love you guys. If you are on the healing journey and you are struggling with like feeling like you have to do it alone, like you don't know how to have a relationship without being codependent, or you feel like you have to do it alone. You don't. At no point in your healing journey do you have to do it alone. We are humans, we are meant to do it together. And I'm making this video with my mom right now because we are literally living proof of this. Since I had my spiritual awakening, she woke up before me. We have been doing this together. We've dealt with codependent issues. I've dealt with commitment issues. We've dealt with projecting onto each other. Throughout the whole entire thing, we were healing ourselves individually while still maintaining a relationship.
And a very healthy relationship, even in its most toxic, worst moments, was still healthier than the matrix version of today's societal relationships, because everything was done with intention of love. We never intended to ever be toxic to each other. It may have turned out to be, but the intention for it was always love based. And it always led us back to the moments we had one today. A big healing moment and conversation today. And we just are slowly peeling those layers.
And I think it's like at some point in your journey, maybe if the universe forces it upon you to be alone, that's your journey. But we have been able to grow so strong, so fast, because she is literally my mirror. If I was alone, how am I supposed to see these things that I'm doing wrong, that I'm projecting, that I'm not, when I have a mirror right in front of me? She's quite literally, her astrological chart is literally like 75% yang, and mine is 75% yin. We are quite literally polar opposites, which has made our, like, I am most mainly water and she's mainly fire. So it's made our relationship so difficult. But within the masculine and feminine energies that we have within ourselves, we've been able to realize what a real relationship, a real, true, healthy relationship looks like through the fact that we are polar opposites.
And the fact that we mirror each other and are able to use that. We both can use that as like, okay, what are you trying to tell me with this action? And she can be like, okay, what are you trying to tell me about me with this action? And it forces us to go deeper within ourselves. Then we separate, we reflect, we think on it, we do our own healing and our own work, and we come back together.
You don't have to do it alone. If you're watching this and that's what you're thinking, you don't have to do it alone. You don't. Okay, I just want to share with you guys like a healing moment that my mom and I had today. And hopefully it can bring you some benefit on how to navigate through if you're going through a similar issue.
So this morning she came to me and was saying that she wasn't feeling like our relationship was equal, give and take again. We've had this conversation several times, and I just wasn't able to express how her constantly coming to me and telling me this made me feel. And it made me feel very like she didn't trust me to do the work, to or accepted and validated and loved for all of me. Didn't matter where I was at in that moment, but I just needed to be accepted fully for where I was at, no matter where I was at in the healing journey. And to just trust that I am fighting for us, whether she sees it physically with her eyes or not, but I am fighting for us. And that her coming to me constantly saying the same thing was actually her projecting her fears and not trusting me onto me.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to provide her that comfort because my ego was getting in the way because I have trust issues from the past year of our relationship. She was struggling really bad physically for a long time, and I was carrying a lot, but I, to some point, just kind of stopped speaking up because she wasn't able to give me in that moment what I needed. So I was like, okay, I'll let it go and I'll just find a way to give it to myself. And I still have trust issues from that time that unless I constantly communicate to her what I want, it's not going to happen. Like the changes aren't going to be there. So I recognized that my ego was getting in the way of my trust, and I was projecting that onto her. I was putting too much on her when really all I needed to do was like step back and trust her that when she tells me I'm working on it, I just need to trust that. And that was my issues, was I've got trust issues.
And I have trust issues with being able to speak up and speak my truth and try to get her, however long it takes me, fighting to get to be heard because she can be very stubborn. But fighting to be heard in what I'm actually trying to portray to her, because I have trust issues that she's going to run because she wants to run. This is hard, this is difficult. It'd be easier if I just did it on my own. It's faster if I do it by myself. Whereas when you're in a relationship with somebody, you can't, it's not on your time. It's not on anybody's time limit. You have to compromise and work together. And you may be able to do it really fast by yourself. And the person that you're working with might be somebody who it takes longer to do that with. So, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah, and I'm just learning to adapt to the level of growth that she's going through and have empathy for that instead of just being like, I could do this by myself so much faster. So I hope that benefited anybody that's watching.